Good morning and welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance for this fine Friday. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And yesterday being a holiday just kind of threw everything off. I woke up this morning and I'm like, what day is it? So it's kind of like being retired. You don't keep track of the days very well. Those holidays throw things off. So let's start with some breath just to get ourselves centered and grounded. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good morning, Joe Neal. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. In through the nose. Good morning, Peggy. Out through the mouth. Grounding yourself into Mother Earth. Roots going down deeply through the base of your spine and the soles of your feet. Grounding, grounding, grounding. A good thing for us to do. Another nice deep breath in and out. Maybe a little tapping. In and out. And one more. In and out. Here we are, fully present, fully alive, fully attentive to this precise moment. So we have a fun card today. I think fun. We'll see what you think. It's actually the card that is the same artwork as is on the cover of this box. So it's the Wild Offering deck by Tosha Silver, and the artwork is by Katie Daisy. And as always, I want to start with the back of the card because there's Ganesh, our overcomer of obstacles, who we can call upon when we're feeling kind of stuck. Okay, Ganesh, this perceived obstacle, how do I reframe it in my mind as an opportunity? How do I see the opportunities in any perceived obstacle? How do I do that? All right, and our card for today, drum roll please, feelings. Feelings. It looks like someone else has joined us. Thank you. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So feelings. And how many of us kind of view it as the four-letter F word? Feel. Don't want to do that. Don't want to, and how many people do you know who don't want to feel? Good morning, Abigail. Glad you are here. They do whatever they can to avoid feelings, to numb them up. Any of the aholics, workaholic, alcoholic, media-aholic, whatever, all of those are really attempts to numb out emotions and jack up the dopamine in our bodies. So how do we face the emotions? How do we not view them as enemies but allies? So let's read the card and we shall go from there. Emotions want to be felt. You really can't surrender something until you deeply feel it. Allow me, dear divine, to offer all emotions to you, feeling them fully so they no longer hold me captive. So, 40 years worth of doing psychotherapy and coaching, etc., my own personal experience with emotions, things I have learned, an image that I like to utilize in this regard is, think of a dam and all of that water behind the dam. Good morning, Angie. Good morning to the rest of you who popped in. Good morning, Cindy. Welcome, welcome. We are doing feelings today. All of the water that's behind that dam are your feelings. And when you look at that dammed up amount of emotion, that feels pretty intimidating to think about turning that loose. One that I struggled with greatly in my 30s was anger. I felt like if I opened that floodgate, the rage was going to destroy the world and it would never end, right? How many of us feel that way about something? Anger, sorrow, grief, frustration, sadness, whatever emotion, fear, whatever emotion it is. So we stuff it behind that barricade, that barrier, that dam, and there's pressure there. If you think about it, against that dam, there's pressure. You have options. You have options. What we know is if the dam bursts, what happens? There's a flood, and then the emotions, the water settles back into what would have been its bed in the first place, right? When we dam up a river, we change the course of where the water goes, right? When the river is back to flowing freely, it goes where it's meant to go. It goes where it's meant to go. Same for our emotions. If we allow ourselves to feel them, again, you may have some periods where you feel like you're being overwhelmed by them. When I'm working with clients, one of the things that we do is we put in place tools. So think of it this way. If the dam's going to burst and you're in the little boat, we give you a paddle. We give you a sense of how do you navigate around the rocks in the flood that comes. We give you insight in terms of what direction to steer, how to work with the flow and bring yourself to safety. So again, we don't just knock down the dam. That's not productive. If we can open some of the floodgates and let some of the pressure off, that's useful. And if we can, if the dam does indeed burst, have those tools, have the boat, have the paddle, have the plan for where am I paddling with this flow. So in your mind right now, feelings, does feel like the 4-letter F word? Or do you feel like you are at a place, thank you, Cindy, much appreciated. Do you feel like you're at a place where you have a better relationship with your emotions? What if you viewed your emotions as allies? What if when something came up, so for instance, anger, I think anger, there's a reason we were crafted with anger as an emotion that we have. Simplest definition is it lets us know when something has crossed our boundary. Something is stepping on our toes. That's why we're feeling angry. Good morning, Beth. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. So rather than lashing out, wouldn't it be more productive to go, what is crowding my boundary? What is crossing my boundary? See what you can articulate in terms of, okay, if the signal is there, like if I poke you in the eye, you have pain. That's a signal. It's a signal to move away from me so that I can't poke you in the eye again, right? If you put your hand on a burner, there's pain there. It's the signal to move your hand away. Emotions are those same kinds of signals. So anger, I'm feeling anger. What's crossing my boundary? Let me be curious about that. What are my options for addressing what's crossing my boundary? What do I choose to do? And for women, historically, we've been silenced, and having a voice has not been supported well. The go along to get along thing has really done a number. Good morning, Chrissy. Glad you are here. On women in particular. So in this world, especially as we get older, so I would say, and I've always been kind of a loudmouth, but certainly in my 50s, I began reclaiming that voice. And now that I'm in my 60s, I feel like I can use my voice when I need to be able to say in any situation, I'm not okay with that. Let's talk about this. It comes much easier than it used to. Much easier. So, what would you like to do? What's a feeling that you have that either you've kept tamped down, stuffed behind that dam, etc., you're afraid to address, and begin to explore the edges of it. You could even do some journaling about it. I'm too afraid to address my my fear, my anger, my frustration, my whatever it is, because. List all the reasons. It would be good for me to address the emotion of blank because, and list all the reasons. Even just beginning with an intellectual exercise about it can begin to soften the edges a bit so it becomes more accessible. When we reclaim our emotions, we become more whole. As long as we have things locked behind that dam, we can't be fully who we're here to be. So it's well worth our time and effort to ease those things out from behind the dam, to look at the dark side, to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. All of these ways we have of describing this process. And if you feel like you need support in doing that, because sometimes when I was dealing with the anger stuff, I needed a therapist. That was helpful. I needed a neutral party to bounce things off of and help me process all of what was coming up. Get a coach. Do a discovery session with me. Free, 20, 30 minutes. empowermentandpurpose.com. Check it out. You have nothing to lose. But the point is, emotions want to be felt. They're your spirit-given, God-given, universe-given, however you want to frame it, signaling system that something needs to be looked at and addressed. That's all it is. That's all it is. We've created a whole lot of fear around certainly particular emotions like anger, but it's merely a signaling system. So the more we can heed those signals and respond in healthy ways, the more whole we're going to feel. So that is our reading for today. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.